Rocco is barking at something over there. Hey everybody, he's knocking over fans. There's Rocco. You knocking over the fan? Huh? I guess I'm gonna have to go regulate that fan while we start our conversation, folks. Hey, welcome to the workshop. Hi, Sam Cook. It's good to see you. This is a Facebook Live. For those of you who are gonna listen to this on podcast format, I'll let you know where I am and what I'm doing so that you can enjoy it later. Bryce Miller, good to have you on here. Edward, Daniel, good to have you guys with me tonight. I'm here. Keith King, great to see you. It's great to have you guys with me. Mr. Rocco is wearing his jacket today because what's the weather like, Rocco, huh? He's like, man, it's freaking cold. It's freaking cold out there, isn't it? Look at how soft he is. He's so velvety and soft, isn't he? Isn't he soft? Yeah, he likes his back rubbed. He does. There he is. That's my shop dog. That's my buddy Rocco. Here he is. Hey Daniel. Hey Mike. Yeah, hi folks. So, been thinking about all you guys. I follow a lot of you on Facebook. I know that they have something called algorithms on Facebook, and I am less interested in knowing about it than I could describe to you. But yeah, I know. And also, you know what else he has today with him? Which, guys, you want to see something cool? I'm going to show you. Lou Statman, good to see you. And congrats on your wedding. I'm Mazel Tov. Yeah, here, I wanted to check this out, guys. He has this. And every time he wears this in the truck, sitting in the passenger seat, co-piloting, he's got his sit. There it is. So he's got his little pilot hat. Check him out. How cool is that? And so a little moment with Rocco here. If you guys are listening to this on the podcast one day, just go on the YouTube and you can catch it yourself right there. Things are good over here. Not easy, but good. You know, this is a small American business. This is the story of a small American business, and we are, you know, it's a great story to follow. I think there's a lot of cool and interesting and fun stuff about what I do here. Today was one of those days when, oh my gosh, have you ever had a day when everything you're trying to get done is just everything is hard? Whew, boy, today it was tough to get started. But one of the nice things about working the way I do is that I can hit the reset button, take a break, and then come back to it in an hour, which is really what it takes sometimes, isn't it? I took 2 hours today and just laid down with my buddy Rocco because I was just hitting the wall, man. I was hitting the wall pretty big time. Boy, this tripod of mine is giving me fits. I'm gonna stop paying attention to it. So tonight I'm running the batch of the day through here. Yeah, getting out of bed can be hard. Just getting today's batch. Now, do you guys see this? This is almost 50 inches long, this stuff. And I'm cutting it. My molds are only 36 inches long. I've gone through this before. When I get into a lull, I make up some narrower boards with these as their cross plies and splice together for the crossband portion. It works very well, makes straight boards, and usually there was about a year during which I think all my boards had spliced crossband in them, and I did not worry a bit about it. And outside of one very famous warranty fraud case, we were able to run that program really well. Boy, this tripod hates me today. It's just hating me. All right, I think we're there. So look, there's a lot going on out in the world, and it's a super cold day. It was 5 degrees this morning here. That's plenty cold, and nobody likes 5 degrees. Nobody. Yeah, 5 degrees is a serious bummer, especially for a skateboarder. Oh, and I wanted to turn down the heat. You want to see something? I want to show you. I'll show you something. Here at the workshop, what I've got are 2 rooms and a back hallway. 2 rooms with a back hallway and a bathroom. And this is the room in which lies all of the HVAC, a big towering plenum with 4 downdrafters. The other room is behind me. So I've got a ceiling fan that pushes the heat down, and then one day I cut a rough hole in the wall down under here, and I just took apart a house fan, and one of those Vornado house fans, and I just stuck it in the hole. It pulls warm air from this side and sends it to that side. In the summertime, we have an AC unit in the corner, one of those stand-up dealios. You can see it between those 2 shirts behind me, and that thing cools this room. And again, that pulls. So the back hallway is about 10. Salt doesn't work in. I see the comments. Salt doesn't work under 18 degrees. Different formulations and beet juice and whatnot. All right, I've had a dickens of a time finishing up this batch because this side is cooler and things cure and coatings cure differently. Plus, with my new spray concept here with the floor vent, I'm having trouble shooting the bottom rack, and I had to do second coats on all these boards. But coming back in today and looking at yesterday's second coats, I have got a really nice top finish, which means these are ready to go in for their belly graphics now, and that dialed me in. But I guess I'm one of those fish that causes delays. Lots and lots of delay, and there are also issues of allocated attention and energy that I wouldn't say I'm plagued by them, though. I'm pretty darn happy with my ability to pump out a great skateboard. But all of it takes. Oh, here's one of those Vornados. This one's going to get taken apart as well, and it's going to get used in the same way. This is going to be used similarly. I'm going to put another hole in the wall down here and pull the climate from this room to that room. That room over there, this is a special thing. All it takes, friends, is one of these bad boys on a circuit running 24/7, and it really, really helps for all the curing. Sam Cook asks, why do you spray topside before doing graphics? Chad Crawford, I love you too. Thank you so much for asking, Sam. I love that question. I spray all the topsides before taking them into the other room. Let me think. It's part of my peculiar delusion about the process. One aspect of it is giving that, you're going to spray a board, so you're going to spray it. What is the moisture content on a board that you've just sprayed with water base? It's 100%. So if I spray these and finish the tops and they're cured and settled nicely, that's a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days as I process them through graphics, that wood gets to cure out all the more. And then when I shoot the bottoms, it's only the bottom that has to cure out. Now, does this matter? No, it actually doesn't matter. I've shot boards the day they go out the door. I've sent boards out the door tacky with customers who come and pick up, and they cure in the car on the way out, and they skate great. They're not heavy. Look, man, a lot of this is no big deal. But the other reason why, and this is a more compelling reason than that technical curing concept, is because they can't get, like if some paint gets on the top when it's raw, if there's an accident or an oopsie when I'm making boards, graphics in the other room, and I accidentally get some paint on the board, we we get, I get a mulligan on it. If the tops are sealed, I can just wipe that paint off, or maybe just rub it with a sanding sponge, like 150 or 180 grit sanding sponge, and I can have that little oopsie off. But if the oopsie with the ink happens on dry, unsealed wood, well, now I really need to dig in with 150 grit and clean that ink off of there before I finish it. So I think my most compelling reason for finishing tops first is that you get paint proofness, you know, because my paint process right now, I'm doing 3 screens per board. I do the tail, and then I do the first color with the dragon graphic is a 2-color, and we have a new graphic coming out. It's actually should be ready this week, but I had, you guys might have watched my video the other day. I was burning screens, and the screens are okay. But I have one more. Yes, Chad Crawford says, I've had a couple oopsie decks. The other way I handle smudges is I leave them. I just leave them and seal them in the board, and you've got a handmade board by a guy with lots of fingers, but some of them are hiding thumbs in their hearts. And I'm never ashamed to allow some of that texture, some of that authenticity of this was a guy in a place at a time to come through. So, guys, I'm a funny critter. I stay away from the kind of perfectionism that's gonna make it even worse, and I embrace a certain perfectionism when it comes to centering the wheel beds and building the concaves. And I always feel kind of good and a little bit proud of some of the inclusions that happen in my work. I know the days will come that things are going to be fancier. And before those days come, I want to be content with when they weren't as fancy. So, yeah, I seal the tops first. And that's these guys over here that I've got finished up. Oh, this camera thing. All right, but I'm going to trim down these plies and roll up another set for the presses, and that'll be a total of 9 more boards in the mix right now, which I'm happy about. And oh, I wanted to share with you another thing. I've probably said it before, and it bears repeating that I have done. Calm down, Rocco. Come here. I gotta take his hat off. You see, this is what happens with the hat, is you get this. He shakes his head. Oh man, Facebook, you're such a pain. He shakes his head and his hat comes off. So it comes around his neck and then he's miserable. You know what, I had to do a 20-minute video and nothing but petting Rocco, since it's what I do most of the day anyway. Isn't it, Rock? Oh my gosh, I could look at you on the camera for hours. You're the cutest dog ever. You're pink. He's so pink. He's such a good boy. He'll love you, bud. All right, go lay down. Go lay down. I wanted to show you, I'm about to do another Lou Ross classic experiment. And the experiment is on the topic of glue. So some of you may know that in the past I have done experimental glue layups using really cheap glues, and I'm pretty scientific in as much as I do pay attention to details and I do gather knowledge, but I'm not very scientific in my process. The last set of experimental glue layups I did was with Elmer's high quality wood formula glue, and with Titebond 2, Titebond 1, and Titebond 3. And all of the skateboards from that test were awesome. all of them. I see you guys on here in the comments. It's good to see you, PMB. Love you, buddy. Philip Michael Ball, Jeremy Garner, good to have you on here. So I did a round of experimentals with all 3 Titebonds as well as Elmer's. Now, Elmer's wood glue was cheap. So I was thinking, the boards all came out really well and they lasted really well. I had my riders testing them and my riders were not, traditional hide glue. Jason Wren and I were talking on Sunday morning. We were doing a video chat, which is something that we do sometimes. And we talked about cooking up a batch of hide glue. The thing about hide glue is it's best applied hot, and it has to be under pressure fast. So laminating with hide glue is really a dicey proposition. We were joking about rendering a bunch of animal proteins into hide glue and like that. I think I'm gonna just break down and put you guys over here. This is the best angle, but I can't really do any work when you're at this angle. Guys, you can see I'm having a lot of trouble tonight with my tripod. It's got like a couple of different clicks, and it's like has to be between clicks. This is probably the best way to go. I'll just stick with this for the rest of the time together. Glue. So I got a wild hair and I said, okay, well, first of all, National Casein appears to be going out of business, which is not unheard of in the world of companies. They're gobbling each other up. Franklin is the company that makes Titebond 2, and they don't sell look, I'm picking up the tripod again. They don't sell the nice 55-gallon drum of glue that I love to buy. And I don't have enough money right now to buy a 55-gallon drum of glue. So what am I supposed to do? Well, I'm not very worried about how much glue I buy. What I'm worried about is how much it costs per gallon and whether it's great glue. I want it to be really good glue. So what do? Oh, well, what I did was I ascertained that National Casein really is not the answer for my next round of glue. And I went back to my research and I said, so one thing I noticed, I did notice that Titebond 3, the more expensive of the Titebonds, did not do better than the Titebond 2. Not only that, I was displeased with some aspects of the glue. I was not impressed that in the bottom of the bottle there was literally a half an inch, quarter to 3/8 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch of wood flour that settles to the bottom of the product. That is wood flour. That is very, very, very fine sawdust. It is kind of a gimmick to pretend that it's going to cross-bond. Cross-bonding is a term that you're going to hear if you get nerdy on glue, and I am not buying it. Cross-bonding means that the glue sticks to itself as well as to what it's on. I think there's a lot of highfalutin hype about cross-bonding. There are glues that have worked. I mean, my mandolin, I have a 1919 Gibson mandolin, and it was held together with hide glue for 100 years. And 1912 Gibson mandolin, I forget what year. It's an A style, so it's nothing to write home about. But I had it redone. I had it repaired. And with the new glue, they did an outstanding job. You can't even see. And so every 100 years, you have to get your mandolin redone if it's done with hide glue. With the new glues, you don't have to go 100 years because they're made with polyacrylates and things and stuff in them. You know, they're made with stuff that ruins oceans. So with my experiments in mind, I did something radical. And Titebond 2 is all Sam Cooke has used for many years, making furniture and cabinets. I know that Frank Perselli makes boards with Titebond 2. They are outstanding. They are break resistant. But I want to tell you, the upshot of my experiments was this. All the glues worked really well. If I had to pick my favorite, it was the National Casein, because the National Casein glued up a stiffer skateboard. That said, so did Titebond 2. Titebond 3 did not succeed in as stiff a skateboard. And the Elmer's was last place with a skateboard that was only just slightly less stiff. All of them got abused all to heck, multiple owners, and finally died of old age. And all of them were set up with knot holes, full inch perforated knot holes in the crossbanding. All of them should have failed by merit of poor wood. They had long grain cracks in every one of them and significant gaps. 265, I used the 265 from National Casein. PC 2365 was the product that I used, and still have a good supply of right now. I'm not out of glue. And I tend to handle procurement well before I'm out. In fact, I have wood ferreted away from myself all over the place. Don't have any dollars, but I have lots of supplies ferreted away. I have to say, I'm not displeased with the prospects in terms of the quality of make that come out of these glues. But I did something radical. I went on Amazon, because the National Casein in the 55-gallon comes in at about $14 per gallon in use. And that comes in for, yeah, I talked to the Casein folks, and I know that they worked on 2365 for making skateboards. It was a specifically for skateboards glue. But their most technical guy, who is no longer with them, awesome dude, who I just love to pieces. The most technical guy at National Casein couldn't talk to me about rebound, flex, relax, and things like that. He just talked about pop. And this was a non-skateboarder talking to me about pop. That was all that they had gotten from the skateboarding customers was the word pop. This has more pop, that has more pop. And what they were talking about was rebound, stiffness, resilience, relax out of the mold, things like that. So knowing that National Casein in their endeavors to make a skateboard glue were just operating by feedback about pop, I don't think that the 2365 is as advanced a technology as it may seem. Franklin offers a skateboard-specific glue. The Franklin company has not impressed me with their service to small skateboard companies. Their skateboard-specific glue is basically Titebond 3. And Titebond 3 does not perform as well as Titebond 2. I think Titebond 3 is a real tricky one. It is a white glue versus Titebond 2, which is a yellow glue. As a white glue, it is also fluffed batch to batch with wood flour, something I'll again and again say, I really don't like the wood flour content or the way it pours. You have to cut in half. Oh, really? Daniel Jardine has posted a comment. All right, so now I've got comments about speccing the glues to the climate of the shop, things like that. This is not going to happen in small skateboard production. What you want is you want to be like Frank Perselli. Now, in larger skateboard production, when there's a larger budget, when you've got a factory condition, you're not working in a house, a basement, a garage. You're not working in 2 rooms of a residential building that are zoned commercial. then you can start talking about speccing adhesives to the ambient moisture. I've got hygrometers in both rooms. One of them has batteries, but they're dead. I think that what I do here is I keep it as dry as I can, and it comes out pretty darn good. And oh, Jardine, you're funny. I wish for all of, I wish that we had, I just realized the way to get these videos to work for YouTube is to put my screen capture on, play them through, and then everyone gets to see your comments. I think I'm gonna play with that. Wow, I can play the video off of Facebook and then put it on YouTube with your comments. That's exciting. I'm gonna think about that. Sonic Welding, nice, Lou Statman. Keep it coming, guys. You guys rule. But here's the upshot of it. I got a wild hair, and I'm gonna make some floorboards using this. This is a $10 bottle of Chinese-made white glue. It is for paper, cardboard, and wood. It is use on clean, dry, porous, or semi-porous surface. Clean up if it is not. Use warm, damp glove. This is just Amazon Basics glue. It's $10 a gallon. And I'm going to do a test batch on those, and I'm going to send one to Bryce. You guys know Bryce. Bryce Miller in Austin, Texas, is going to test ride some boards on plain ugly white glue. Not this batch. It'll be a month or two before I send those out to him. 100% recycled political dissidents. Nice job, Daniel. Love this. I'm going to send it over to Bryce and see how long it takes for it to fail, how it fails when it fails, and I think then we'll all have a feeling for what the worst possible glue is. Now, not only is this the worst glue I could find, it's cheap, it's junk, it comes from a country of oppression. Hey, please, I didn't mean that in an offensive way. In fact, I'm sorry for saying something that was politically charged on this feed. I really, really don't. I think China is a beautiful country, and I love the people of China. And obviously that comment lacked respect for the insanely long history of China, and I'd like to back off of what I said there. Working conditions in China have been a concern of mine for my entire career, and I think that I lacked self-control in the way I said that. I'm working hard over here to be fair and just at the same time. It's tricky. But this is a glue that I think should make terrible skateboards. If it makes good ones, then guess what, guys? We're off the hook, all us makers. We can use whatever darn glue we wish to, with a strong recommendation to Titebond 2, which right now at Home Depot, a gallon of Titebond 2 is about 15 bucks. Chris Castle says, better talk nice about your new glue supplier. Any supplier of mine that requires me to talk nice about them, I'm going to find a new one. Because accountability is, they always say accountability is a bitch. But accountability is the lifeblood of a healthy market. And anybody that I work with, if they're not okay with critique and criticism, I guess I just have to find someone else to work with. And that goes for skate shops, and that goes for all kinds of folks. I'm actually happy when I get critique and criticism, although sometimes it really makes me scared because I know I could do better. I know I could do better. If I just were better, I could do better. You know, oh, it's tough. But I'm going to make some of those up. This is called washable school glue. Safe and non-toxic. So I kind of like it. This is not only cheap, it also it was in my car while the cold weather rolled in, and it did not freeze. But what it did was it congealed, which is close to freezing. Didn't freeze, but it congealed. So it should be ruined. It should be ruined. It should make terrible boards. I'll have to get another gallon of it to do a check on the ones that haven't been too cold, but I think I caught it in time. It was still viscous when I brought it into the workshop this morning. Boy, am I happy that we got to talk today. Also, everybody, go on the site and order yourself something nice. And yeah, when I eat my glue, I probably won't die. When I opened it, it was the consistency of paste. You guys remember paste from kindergarten? And it used to be mint flavored. Do you guys remember mint flavored paste? That they didn't think that through. Oh look, I can pull this label right off of there. Wow. Hey, if this glue is really good, I'll just order these and I'll just pull the label off and put a Fickle sticker on and I'll sell it to you guys for $30 a gallon. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh boy, oh my friends. Sam, how many are left? We've got, I think last time I posted we had 5 of the Fickle Life collab decks left. And now, I don't know how many we have left now. Oh, I've had a little side project going I want to show you too. Now that I've let you know what I'm doing with the glue, check out this side project. I have here original art from Life Skateboards. This is awesome. These are lino cuts and you can feel the texture of the ink. Obviously, I need to frame these better, but for now, I stick them on a piece of veneer with some adhesive. So in addition to the lovely, amazing, and inspiring art of Wayne Wells that I look at every day, I don't hang it up, I look at it. If it does become well worn one day, I almost dropped it. If it becomes well worn one day, it will be because I handled it looking at it and just drinking it in. Charles Gentry made me this gem. I love this. This is a piece of wood that he had hanging around, and he just Sharpied in our Rocco logo on there. That just blessed my heart so much. Life Skateboards with original art. I know I've shown them to you, but now I'm starting to mount them. But then, you know what? I've been so dingy that for years I've had original drawn art for Fickle. That this is a tracing, and this is the original drawing of the tracing. This is originally drawn by Andrew Eschenbach, our initial. These are all hand-drawn Fickle graphics that we then rendered into screens at different times. And I know you guys remember this one for Woody's Skate Park we did for the Day of the Dead. And I hear Rocco chewing something back there. What's he doing? So yeah, and I'm framing up art and going to be hanging it up more often. I hung the Welfare Line Ohio graphic. I was stoked about that, and yeah, I'm in good company on that. And so that was fun. Back to the business at hand. It does feel good to talk to you guys. It does, and it feels good to let you in on some of the process. And I'm going to roll these decks, get these trimmed, roll these decks, and do some of that. I've got some boards that need to be cut in the morning. I can't cut at night in here because the neighbors are home. And 5 still. Come on, we got to sell those. So. At the end of this video, and for those of you listening, you know, I've got a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts. And I see clearly that man could lose their sanity in the world of expressing thoughts and feelings. So I like to save it till I know it's really important. But I've never heard any better advice than love one another, love your neighbor, and love your enemy. Love your enemy, I think, takes miracle power, but I believe in that, and I wish for all of us that we would love one another, love our neighbors, and love our enemies, because it just, and you know, I bet it didn't feel different to this in 1967, 8, 9. I think that the world has been spinning, and probably what feels like a crazy, horrible thing that we're going through is probably not as rare and strange a thing as we may think. I'm not sure.
because it certainly feels rare and strange, and it certainly feels extreme, but take a breath, do your best, don't get down on yourself, and give love, especially to those who hurt you and wound you, and give love, especially to those who offend you and cause you consternation. And speak the truth, but give love. Well, I'm going to let you go with that, and I hope that every one of you guys out there and gals, that you enjoy skateboarding. If not today, it's the middle of winter here. Also, I've been apprehensive. I've been planning my gear and organizing for my trip to Tampa, and we'll really need as many of you as want to buy boards so that I can get down to Tampa this year. I've never had a question on whether I'm going. I am going to Tampa, but I'd sure like to pay for it. So sometimes you're going on Bean Burritos, and sometimes you get to order pizza in over there in, what is that neighborhood called? What's that neighborhood in Tampa that's so gnarly, where all the nightlife is? I can't remember it. But good night, friends, and thanks for joining me here in the workshop for a Workshop Minute. Thanks so much. Catch you soon. Oh, I almost forgot. As always, hi, Mom, I love you.